This is my presentation on New Horizons, the first spacecraft near Pluto. New Horizons was launched January 19, 2006. This was after 2 failed attempts earlier that week, proving third time's the charm, a true adage for the spacecraft. The previous 2 were made unsuccessful due to high winds and a power outage near where the spacecraft would be operated, respectively for each attempted launch. Shortly after New Horizons was launched, Pluto was determined to not be considered a planet anymore, now considered a dwarf planet. This happened later within the same year, 2006, which could lead one to believe that had this mission been launched later, that it would have maybe went to Neptune rather than Pluto. Though this was not the point of New Horizons, it was not to necessarily explore the furthest planet in our solar system. It was to explore the outer parts of our solar system. Though Ellen Stern, the principal investigator for the New Horizons mission, was still very much in protest of this change and wanted Pluto to be considered a planet. This is likely due to the fact that the change of the planetal status made the mission less prestigious, in air quotes, since it wasn't a true planet. New Horizons had the highest velocity of any human vehicle, and in little under 2 months, by April 7, 2006, it had passed Mars' orbit. In less than a year, by February 28, 2007, it was by Jupiter using the gravity of the planet to increase New Horizons' speed. Doing this actually shortened the trip by an estimation of 3 years. New Horizons' time near Jupiter, while it only lasted for about 4 months, it also allowed the spacecraft time to test out its equipment. And let us learn more about Jupiter's atmosphere, the moons and rings. It was able to capture also some beautiful photos of Jupiter and its moon Io, as you can see here. And you can also see that the colors of it are a bit off, the big red spot being actually blue in this photo, and that is due to the actual equipment on New Horizons, which was not exactly color accurate, but was meant to bring out certain aspects of the planets. Within this presentation, most of the photos you will see will actually be taken by New Horizons, as said this photo was, and I will specify when the photos weren't taken by New Horizons. The ones earlier obviously were not, but from here on out, most of them will be. Though we also aren't here to talk about Jupiter. Jupiter was not the focus of the New Horizon. It was a trip for Pluto. We already had Galileo on Jupiter at the time anyway. New Horizons reached halfway to Pluto on February 25th, 2010, after several hibernation periods, as they were called. This is to say that most of the systems on New Horizons were deactivated for about 10 months of the year and brought online for about 2, then repeated the cycle. Speaking of a non-New Horizons photo, here the immediate next one is not actually one from New Horizons. This was the best photo we had of Pluto prior to the New Horizons mission, and it was created by an estimation of what we had thought Pluto would be via computer generation. Now, compare this image to the first image we did get from New Horizons, and you'll see just how different the photo from New Horizons is, how much more vibrant it is. Though just like the photo of Jupiter from earlier, the colors aren't exactly accurate, but are to enhance the subtle differences in colors that Pluto actually has. We will see a photo later that has more accurate colors. By the time New Horizons was actually close to Pluto, it took 4 hours and 25 minutes for a command from the ground of Earth to actually reach the spacecraft, making navigation extremely difficult. And on March 12th, 2015, 9 years after the launch, New Horizons was officially closer to Pluto than the Earth was to the Sun. There was still a long ways to go. In July of the same year, we were finally able to determine the true size of Pluto, which was found to be larger than estimated, though not enough to discount it of its dwarf planet status. As well, we were also able to see Pluto's largest moon, which was determined to be about the size of Texas, which is very interesting. And I don't know if personally I had expected it to be bigger or smaller, but it's about the size of Texas. On July 15th, 2015, the flyby was officially determined to be a success. From data collected by New Horizons, it was found that Pluto and its satellites, or moons, as I have and will continue to be calling them, were more complex than anticipated. Scientists were shocked by the amount of activity on the surface. Lower than expected atmospheric escape rates and atmospheric haze on Pluto that made them have to reconsider their pre-existing models. There was evidence that Pluto may have had running or standing liquid on the surface in the past, as well as there may still be an internal ocean today. It also showed a lot of change in atmospheric pressure. And here are the moons of Pluto. All these photos were taken by New Horizons as well. Though obviously for the photo on the left, they weren't this close, and the names were added after. The photo on the right is a photo of the moon Nix, but just having more detail to it. The two smallest moons, Sphinx and Kerberos, were actually found during the New Horizons mission, which was concerning to the technicians, as remember from earlier. It was taking 4 hours and 25 minutes, likely longer now, to actually change controls. So discovering new debris around the spacecraft that they had not planned for and would have to try to avoid was quite difficult. Images of Charon, the largest moon, suggested that it used to hold long-gone water ice ocean. The photo of Nix that's on the right was taken from about 23,000 kilometers away, really showing off how powerful New Horizons' image capabilities were, as to be able to capture individual craters on the lit up 19 by 47 kilometer surface. Obviously, the rest of the moon is larger than that, but that is just what is lit up. Continuing on with the moons, here is another image that was captured by New Horizons. Easily one of the most breathtaking that I had found while looking for this project. This is Pluto lit up only by its largest moon, Charon. The shadows cast here, the shadows cast from the light would look a lot less crisp and defined compared to the ones here on Earth by moonlight. Also about Charon, it doesn't completely pass through all phases of the moon like ours does. Instead, it starts on a wide crescent, goes to a gibbous, and then back. This could likely be because both Charon and Pluto are actually tidally locked to each other, and it's a mutual tidal locking, unlike Earth from our moon, where from only half of Pluto will ever see the moon Charon. Here we have a more accurately colored photo of Pluto, showing off its most predominant feature known as the heart, or, pardon my pronunciation here, Spelunket Planetaria, named after Earth's first man-made satellite. This heart is a nitrogen glacier, approximately 1,000 kilometers wide, and 1,600 kilometers across, which is a lot of love to give. And it is also the largest known glacier in our entire solar system. Not bad for only a dwarf planet. In the fall of 2015, New Horizons continued on its way, going further into the Kuiper Belt, doing a flyby of an object now known as Arcturus. This destination was reached in 2019, and in April of 2020, New Horizons' mission was extended to conduct many more observations further into the solar system, and only just woke up from its most recent hibernation earlier this month. But back to Pluto, because again, the original point of the mission was a focus on Pluto. As New Horizons was beginning to depart from Pluto, photos were taken of the dark side of Pluto, leaving only a bluish haze ring visible. Now, it's not the true dark side of Pluto. All of Pluto does see the sun at some point, but it was just the back of the planet. The left photo was taken by New Horizons, while the right is an approximation of its true color. It is believed that the reason for this ring is a reaction between the sunlight and methane molecules of Pluto's atmosphere. This concludes my presentation on why Pluto is my favorite planet. Pluto is my favorite celestial body. No, on New Horizons spacecraft. Yeah, that's why I chose this topic. It had nothing to do about Pluto. No. Okay, bye.